KSI and Logan Paul have made a fortune off of the marketing and the sales of Prime, the energy drink that everybody wants to get their hands on apart from me. I've looked at the strategy that Logan Paul and KSI have utilized in the marketing of Prime to make it fly off of shelves, to make people queue to supermarkets to be able to get a bottle of this horrendous drink. And I want to break it down for you so that you can use it in your own business, in your own marketing methods to generate your leads and increase your sales. So for those of you who have been living under a rock and have absolutely no idea what this Prime drink is, KSI, Logan Paul, two humongous YouTubers with massive followings, have combined and put together their resources, put together their audiences, and released a drink called Prime. And it's unbelievable that there is so much hype around such a crap product. But here's the thing. I've said this many, many times before when it comes to lead generation, when it comes to marketing. It's not necessarily about the product and the service. It is about who is the most known offering that product and service. You would have heard me say before about Joe Wicks. He's not a chef. He's not the best personal trainer. He's an insanely likable guy who shares his life on social media, and people buy for him because they like him. KSI and Logan Paul have built a huge audience. They focused on personal brand first, found out what their audience would want, and have then gone ahead and sold it. I heard a podcast episode yesterday with Logan Paul where he decided to release the numbers that Prime have done. Now that's only been going as a business in the last 12 months, just under a year. And are you ready? They've done 250 million inside 12 months. In January alone, they've done 45 million pounds in sales. Now, you may sit there and listen to that and go, holy shit. You may think it's not relevant to you as a business, but it 100% is. Because if you look at someone who's launched an amazing marketing strategy and then work out how you can put that into your business too, then you can go ahead. It might not be 45 million that you release, but it will be a consistent lead flow. It will be a relevant number of sales calls that you need to be doing. And that will give you the predictable sales and income that you need and turnover into your business. So let's break down the steps that they've gone through so you can go and employ this strategy into your own business. So the first step is personal brand. More than ever right now, because of social media, because of content marketing, personal brand is the most important thing that you can focus on. Now, you might not want to amass 100 million followers like KSI and Logan Paul combined. But if you could be the most known person in your niche, in your service, in your product area, even in your town or county, for the product and service that you sell, you're going to be able to attract clients to you, which are the deeper spending customers. If you're going to a networking event and everybody knows your name, then that means that you are a mini personal brand in that particular area. Taking what you know about networking in person, the conversations you have, the value that you share, the education that you provide to people that you're talking to, and putting that onto social media, producing podcasts, YouTube, videos, blogs, articles, just posting on social media and doing reels and TikToks and YouTube shorts. That is going to enable you to reach a much larger audience. Now, if you're able to get 1,000 true fans who buy £1,000 worth of product or service from you, you've built £1 million business. It's really super simple. People buy from people, and people like you will like you. You're the differentiator between the next business. You're the USP. Now, I know there's a mindset shift in this because you'll think that everybody wants to work with you. But more than ever now, personal brand is taking over business brand. So if you've got a team, if you've got salespeople, if you've got administrators or PAs, as long as you are the person making the introduction to your team, then those clients, those prospects, those leads will be more than happy to follow the process that you have laid out for them. So now more than ever, it's important to build your personal brand from today. You cannot afford to delay this because even in huge corporations, big businesses, they are now starting to build the brand of their CEOs, of their directors, because we're moving away from faceless. you've got to start putting yourself front and center. And if you don't, you're going to be left behind. Second thing is scarcity marketing. Logan Paul and KSI limited the number of drinks that they had available, which means that people were queuing up outside Aldi and Lidl wanting to grab a bottle. In the UK, they limited the distribution, which means that crazy donut nutter people, sorry if you are one of them, are willing to spend £30 a bottle to get it into their own hands. That is insane. But what can you learn from that? If your diary is constantly open and you're easily accessible, then that doesn't show that you're a person who is in demand. That doesn't show that you already have a full diary. Whereas when you are speaking to a prospect and they're perhaps looking to book an appointment, if the next appointment is an hour from now, and then you've got appointments every hour on the hour thereafter, you look unprofessional, you look unbusy, and you look easily accessible. Whereas if when somebody clicks onto your diary, they turn around and say, you can't get an appointment for 2 weeks, for example, then that is a huge position to be in, because that will enable you to put your prices up. That shows that you are a professional. That shows that you are a person who is in demand. I have to look at my dentist, for an example. It's really difficult to get an appointment with my dentist tomorrow unless I've done something serious with my teeth. It's going to be a week or potentially 2 weeks because he is a dentist that is in demand. If your product or your service is easily available, then you're going to be a commodity. You're going to be charging low prices. You're going to be competing on price. And that means that you are not different to anybody else in the market. Now, I've got a quick offer for you here because a good friend of mine, client of mine, inspiration of mine, Daniel Priestley, wrote a great book called Oversubscribed. And he talks about how you get your business to a point where you've got more demand for you or your service than you have capacity to fill. If your capacity is double the amount of appointments that you have in your diary, you're oversubscribed, which means you can put your fees up, you can say no to some customers, and you haven't got to worry. Too many business owners, too many entrepreneurs, too many self-employed people when starting out want to take on every single client. And that is the wrong strategy to use. The last point I want to raise is the power of social media. Now, there's a few subcategory points to this one because you need to understand how they have leveraged social media, how they have built the scarcities that they want, and how they've leveraged their personal brands in order to make this work. The first part of social media is that Logan Paul and KSI put themselves out on there first. They then released the product that their audience wanted, and they got themselves onto other people's channels talking about that product and service and selling the success of it. The second point that they did was getting it to a stage of the scarcity, meaning that people were queuing up outside of Aldi and Lidl. So all of a sudden, their customers and their consumers were sharing the challenges that they were having in getting the product and service in the same way that your customers need to share your outcomes, your results. You need the social proof that your product and service is something that is in demand. If other people are talking about it, then that's what gets other people to take action with you. And the last part, which is the most important part, is understanding your demographic. They went to the social media channels that are relevant to their audience. Their followers and fans are based on YouTube. They're on social media. You have to understand who is your market first. Young kids. They didn't try and release a product that wasn't for young kids. They then understood the message that they wanted to take to them, the benefit that their product and service provided to the demographic that they had, and then they went on the media channels that were most relevant to them, where they were already hanging out, where they were producing content, and they doubled down and focused. Now, because of the brands that they have, they were able to get themselves on multiple different channels, multiple different shows. But for you, particularly if you're starting out right now, more than ever, it's important to focus on one channel. And let me take that back a step. It's important to focus on one client type, one consistent message, and on one media channel that is relevant to your client. There is no point going to LinkedIn if you want to be attracting teenagers. It's about understanding who your demographic is where they are hanging out, and then producing content that is most relevant to them. I've spent since 2016 studying and learning lead generation and marketing. And what KSI and Logan Paul have done is absolutely remarkable. And it's something that even if you are in a service-based business, you can look at what they've done to launch their product, and you can do exactly the same thing to launch a new product, to rebrand an existing product, to create more demand in your own business, to be able to increase your prices, to attract better clients, more ideal clients who are willing to pay your fee, your prices, and to separate yourself from the competition in your area, in your niche, or in your industry. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you go and have a look, do some Googling on KSI and Logan Paul and understand how they launched Prime. Get to the bottom of their marketing strategy and see what pieces of it you could take to bring into your own business. And let me know in the comments what you think was the key strategy, the key bits that you could utilize from today, what you did like, don't like, and if you disagree with me that Prime is an amazing drink, which is really not. Thank you very much indeed for tuning in. Remember, now's the time to become pro.